The only difference, I think, between a lunatic and a visionary is relevancy. To not recognize the neurological leap in terms of all of the things that he was orienting himself around really needed a much broader understanding, but it stays in that genre of so-called music. But it's way beyond music. In other words, it has to do with human functioning, it seems to me. I'm Emilie Conrad, and I'm the founder of Continuum, which is a movement process that has been around for 42 years. And I met Erv Wilson many years ago. Going to his house is kind of like going inside his body in a way. You walk in and it's very dark, and all these musical microtonal instruments are all over, kind of layered everywhere. So you're entering into a kind of a realm of subterranean machinations. Erv fertilized these students, and what grew from that would be fascinating. He's a seed man. Yeah. I just don't think he's gotten his due. We're never going to see this again. We're never going to see this person again. This constellation of textures again. This kind of thought, this history again. We'll never see it. The uniqueness of the way that he perceived reality and the way that he dreamed up his existence was so rare. It's very interesting, and there are some movement sequences that we do that I would call microtonal movement. It's quarter tone movement. It's not like movement all at once. It's where the movement keeps arriving. If I were moving in a more conventional way and I want to turn my hand, I would turn it like that. Okay, so I would just do that. And that's very conventional. And there's a lot of density to this movement, meaning everything's moving all at once. Okay, but if I go into a quarter tone movement, my entire nervous system is orchestrated differently. So it would be like this, where I turn, and I stop and I feel. And then I turn my hand again, and I stop and I feel. And I can already feel a kind of a sensory something going on. And then I'm turning here. Can you see it? And I just stop and feel. And I can sense that I start to feel this movement in my finger. See it? Huh? See it? Okay, so that movement wouldn't mean anything to a conventional brain. It's not a movement that fetches wood and carries water. It's a different communication link within my system itself. So as this is going, the shaping that it starts to make see, like if I were a dancer in a ballet company, this movement would never exist because you can't see it from the third balcony. If I was in time in a certain way, this movement would never exist. So I would never know about this world. Now it sort of grows. Now I don't know where this is going. But what is interesting here is that millions of new neurons are being stimulated in a very elegant way that goes beyond the survival circuitry of fetching wood and carrying water. It's a different communication link in my system. So and this could keep shifting and changing, like now it's radiating more into my arm. I can tell you this, if you met somebody from another dimension, they would move like this. There's absolutely no question in my mind that the orchestration of their brain and their capacity to encompass would be so completely different than what we how we organize our time space. That in their whole movement orientation, the way they would shift would be just completely different. That's what this is.
I saw her dancing, and I could not believe how beautifully she danced.